good morning. It is Sunday morning. It is 20 to 11. I am Mum's taxi today. I've just dropped them off just outside Manchester Central. I'll show you my view in a second. It's Megacon. Apparently Warwick Davis and Warwick Davis's family are there, and lots of Megacon type folks. That's kind of all I know. It's not my thing, but the costumes are pretty awesome, I've got to say. I'm watching a lot of cosplay go past, so I'll show you. So yeah, Alex is at Megacon today and I'm going to go on a river cruise. I was actually going to go to Heaton Park. I remembered the name of the park. I actually messaged my ex-husband Bill and went, what's it called? He went, Heaton Park. I went, yeah, of course. So I did a bit of research because I've not been to Heaton Park in quite some time. And it turns out you're not allowed to film at Heaton Park. And I decided to jump on the things to do in Manchester website to get some ideas. I'm not sure what this cosplay is, so if anybody knows, let me know. It's kind of interesting sat here actually at the drop-off point watching people get out of cars with all the different looks. And some have gone all out and others have just like put a hat on. I could sit here for a while actually. I'll probably get in trouble because this is a drop-off point. But this is kind of fun. Look at those wigs. Lordy. It's weird because there's like old guys wandering around taking photographs. You've got to be careful in this area, I think. Who are these old guys taking photographs? Anyway, as I was saying, I was going to do Heaton Park, but then it turns out you're not allowed to film there. I went onto the Manchester website and looked for some ideas. And it looks like... I'm just getting told I need to move on, so I'm going to move on. I saw a river cruise from Salford Quays, so that's where I'm going.
In 200 yards, at the roundabout, take the second exit and stay on the quays.
Right, so I'm at Salford Quays. I just need to figure out where I'm meant to get on this boat. Just past the BBC. It's quite nice. The Lowry. It's quite a while since I've been down here. It scrubs up rather well, I've got to say. Salford Quays, Media City and all that. It's a nice place, nice and relaxing. So I'm now looking for signs as to where I'm supposed to meet the boat. It's about 10 past 11 and it goes at 11:30. But I don't really know. So at this moment in time, I don't know where I'm supposed to be meeting said boat. Don't know. There's a picture of where the boat arrives, but it's not really looking like any of these buildings right now. I hope I find it before it leaves at 11:30. Well, that's all blocked off, that whole section, so it can't be that way. Oh, drone. I really don't know. I think I'm nearly there. It says Pier 8, so I'm at the Pier 8 restaurant, so it's got to be here somewhere. Just made it. I headed the wrong direction to start with, but I'm here now.
Does people have alcohol? No, it's not alcohol. It's
The building to the right of us is the Lowry Art Gallery and Theatre Complex, opened by Queen Elizabeth II in 2000 as part of the regeneration of the Salford Docks area. Its architectural design has been described as Salford's not quite Guggenheim, after the famous Spanish museum. It is named after the 20th century painter L.S. Lowry, who was famous for his matchstick men style of painting industrial scenes in the northwest. Salford Quays is linked to the new home of ITV Studios and the Coronation Street set on the Trafford side of the canal by MediaCity footbridge, which spans 65 metres and weighs 450 tonnes. This swings from a concrete foundation, opening up a 48-metre wide navigation channel.
On the Trafford side of the canal is the new home of ITV and latest site for the set of their famous soap Coronation Street, which moved here in 2013. Coronation Street was first aired on 9th of December 1960 and is the world's longest running soap opera. It was created by Tony Warren, who drew inspiration from his grandmother's surroundings in inner city Salford and created Coronation Street, a working class community inhabited by ordinary people leading unspectacular lives.
And now it just depicts murders, sex, drugs and all.
Ahead of us now is mode wheel locks. This is the last of 5 locks that ships have to travel through when making a 35-mile journey from the start of the canal at Easton. It was here that Queen Victoria opened the ship canal in 1894 after its 7-year construction. The 5 locks drop a total of 18 metres from here at the terminal basin down to sea level. The lock we can see is the largest and deepest of the 5 locks at 4.5 metres deep, 180 metres in length and 24 metres in width. Each set has a large lock for ocean-going ships and a smaller, narrower lock for vessels such as trucks and coasters. On our right, there are a set of 3 graving docks which could accommodate ocean-going ships of up to 535 feet and were used for repairs and maintenance of vessels as they allowed water to be drained away. Manchester Dry Docks Limited folded in 1980 with the loss of 450 jobs, but a band of former employees resurrected it as a shipyard in 1987. Trawlers, cargo vessels, dredgers and even an aluminium catamaran were built here before the docks finally closed in 2007, with their plate rollers, guillotines, presses and other heavy machinery being dismantled and moved to Liverpool. The dock we are entering now is 9 Dock, and this was originally over half a mile in length, being the largest of the docks to be built here, stretching back to the large office complex behind this gold building. It was able to hold 10 ocean liners and large container ships. On our left is MediaCityUK, and this is the final area of the docks to be developed. This 200-acre site is now home to the BBC, who moved here in 2011, with shows such as Watchdog, Match of the Day and BBC Breakfast being filmed here. It was developed with an investment of £650 million from the Peel Group, who own the Manchester Ship Canal, having taken control of the company in 1987. Just outside the Lowry Theatre, on the end of 9 Dock, you can see the sculpture Where the Wild Things Were. The giant blades of elephant grass suggest places beyond the canal, where ships sail to and from. This sculpture celebrates the impact of the Manchester Ship Canal, a man-made waterway connecting Salford to the sea and the rest of the world. Each steel base is engraved with drawings by local children who imagine the landscape and wildlife of far-off lands. Their sense of wonder mirrors that of Salfordians who witness bananas, citrus fruits, cotton and tea arrive here from distant shores for the very first time. The striking building ahead of us is the Imperial War Museum, designed by Daniel Libeskind in the deconstructivist style. Libeskind envisaged a constellation composed of 3 interlocking shards, with each shard being a remnant of an imagined globe shattered by conflict. The museum explores the impact of modern conflict on people and society and was opened in July 2002. The large white footbridge ahead of us is Millennium Bridge. This is a 91.2 metre long vertical lift bridge, which lifts the total length of its walkway, 18 metres, in less than 3 minutes. It was constructed in 2000 at a cost of approximately £5 million. The large expanse of water we are now entering is the terminal basin, where large ships that use the canal will come to turn around before making a return journey back towards the River Mersey. On our right, a prominent site from the canal, is Old Trafford Football Ground, home to Manchester United since 1910. But its record attendance was in 1939, when 76,962 spectators watched the FA Cup semi-final between Wolverhampton Wanderers and Grimsby Town. The concrete pillars that you can see in the water used to form part of the swing railway bridge. This has now been relocated to 9 Dock and acts as a pedestrian bridge across the dock. It was part of the Manchester Ship Canal Railway, which was used to aid the construction of the canal, and became the largest privately owned railway in Britain. Ahead of us is Trafford Road Swing Bridge, which was built in 1892 and is the largest and heaviest of the 7 swing bridges to be built over the canal, weighing 1,800 tonnes. It was hydraulically operated via a pump house, which has now been removed. A hunting horn was used to signal the swinging of the bridge, and it would swing to allow ships to navigate to the Pomona docks further upstream. As one of the few places traffic was able to cross the canal, it gave a rise to the saying "getting bridged," when people had to wait for the bridge to close. People used this expression as an excuse for being late to work. The bridge no longer swings, having been fixed in place since 1997. The soapworks to our left is a redevelopment of a Colgate palm olive factory, which closed in 2007, having one of the last large industrial sites to remain on this part of the canal. This was a detergent and toiletries manufacturing complex and utilised the canal to transport cargo. It is now home to TalkTalk, the first FTSE 100 company to relocate its headquarters outside of London.
The idea for the Manchester Ship Canal came about when Manchester was a thriving city at the heart of the Industrial Revolution. Originally built on the cotton trade, the Ship Canal enabled the engineering and chemical industries that supported it to be expanded and diversified, so that by 1935 Manchester was, without challenge, the first and greatest industrial city in the world. The cost of transporting goods through the ports of Liverpool and aboard the railways was seen as excessive by the business community of Manchester, with goods often being cheaper to transport through the docks at Hull on the other side of the country rather than through Liverpool. As such, a canal was proposed, bypassing the Liverpool docks and bringing the sea 40 miles inland to Manchester. The canal was approved by an Act of Parliament in 1885. It would require the excavation of 41 million cubic metres of earth along its 36-mile stretch, dug mostly by hand by navvies, and the construction of 5 locks able to take vessels up to 160 metres in length and 20 metres wide. It is the longest river navigation canal and remains the world's 8th longest ship canal, only slightly shorter than the Panama Canal in Central America. The canal was built mostly by manual labourers known as navvies. These were groups of labourers who would travel the country working on civil engineering projects, such as railways and canals. Temporary shanty towns would be set up along the stretch of the canal they were working on, set out into quarters based on where the workers came from. Up to 30% of the navvies who built the canal were Irish. They would wheelbarrow hand-dug dirt from the bottom of the canal to waiting railway carriages. Up to 1,100 navvies would die during the construction of the canal.
The next footbridge we can see is known as Mark Addy Bridge and dates back to 1872, and this marks the border between the Manchester Ship Canal and the River Irwell. It was named after local hero Mark Addy, who was a publican of the old Boathouse Inn and a champion oarsman. He was honoured with the Albert Medal for rescuing 50 people from the Irwell.
The large steel bridge ahead of us is the Alton Court Viaduct, the iconic centrepiece at the heart of a new elevated railway connecting Manchester and Salford.
The overgrown building just to our left now is the former Mark Addy pub. This has been closed since 2015 when it was flooded in the Boxing Day floods. At that time, the water here came to just below the level of the stone bridge you can see now.
I thought it was very good. Quite educational.
Well, that was fabulous, so super relaxing. So I've just got back to just outside the Lowry and there's a little craft fair, so I'm going to have a look. Hello. Hello. I'm going to walk away really quick. Yeah. I can't decide what to have.
Just so you know, on the pastries and pancakes, you can mix and match any 3 for 10.
Okay.
It'll be easier maybe.
Could I have spinach and cheese roll, please?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
When you did a drama club for young kids called Bright Spark.
Oh my god.
My sister was in that.
Was she?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time
So I knew you
ago.
from years ago. So I remember you coming to see a few little showcases and my sister was in them. So keep it up.
Thank you. See
Very
you
good
soon.
season.
Thank you. So that was nice to be spotted, recognised from my videos, but knew me from years ago. I used to teach a musical theatre club called Bright Sparks. I was one of their main teachers that was based just outside Eccles. And you remembered it. That's cool. Right, I'm going to go into sort of the outlet area of the Quays now. Go and find somewhere to sit down and have a bit of lunch. I brought sandwiches, but I've just bought a spinach and cheese like pastry thing that I want to try. So I'm now in Salford Quays in this shopping outlet. There's so many clothes that shut, shops that are closed, so many. There's not that many open, but I have been to the M&S outlet and got myself some underwear like you do. I had a lovely stroll round outside. I'll show you through the window. So that's where I'm sat. It's busy out there but nice and quiet in here. And because I brought my own sandwiches, I thought I'll just sit in here minding my own business, and I've managed to squash them in the bottom of my bag. They were in a cool bag, but then I transferred them to my bag and managed to squash them. So I'm going to have my little sandwiches, which is Warburton's Thins with schwan and whatever the heck you call it. And I'm going to try this pastry, which is spinach and cheese. I'm being good today. I won't be having Chinese tonight, so that's my little treat for today. But I'm, trying to watch what I'm eating. I enjoyed the boat trip. I probably said that already, but it was lovely, really enjoyable. So yeah, I'm gonna have my sandwiches. You can see two ladies down there with loads and loads of clips in the hair, just wandering around with clips in the hair, with curlers and stuff, like you do. Anyway, the spinach and cheese was devoid of all taste. I don't know if that's the right word, devoid, but it didn't taste of anything. So that was unfortunate. But it has given me an idea to maybe make something like that. Phyllo pastry with cheese and veg or whatever. I do like broccoli and cheese. That makes a wonderful soup. So I might use it as an idea for a cookery thing. So I'm now going to go and find a drink because I haven't brought a drink with me. I did bring sandwiches though. There is a Costa downstairs, so I think I might go for a bubble frappe or a bubble tea. And I did bring my crochet with me. So I'm now sat outside at Salford Quays. I'm going to do a bit of crochet and just enjoy the outdoors and watch the birds go by. So I thought I'd go for a little stroll now. I'm going to go around to where Media City is, which I've never been to. I've seen it many times, passed it many times, but actually not walked towards it. So I'm going for a nosy. The home of CBeebies. I think I'm going to go over the bridge and have a nosy at ITV as well. Why not? So this is a nice view. I've got the BBC behind me, Imperial War Museum there, Salford Quays that way, Coronation Street and ITV over there. I'm going for a nosy. I had no idea I'd walk so far. I've just come from that bridge. I had no idea I'd walk that far. I remember doing the Granada Studios tour years ago when I was a kid, a teenager. They brought us to the studios from when I lived in Yorkshire, well before I moved to Manchester and lived in Manchester. But I've never been this far across. Isn't it weird? All the time you live in a place, you don't really explore the whole place. So since I've got time today, we're having a nosy. Going around the front of ITV now. I'm hoping there's some seats I could do with a sit down. So, really tiny little entrance to Coronation Street now. Really nice security guard though. He says, "You having a minute?" I said, "God, yeah. It's really warm today." He said, "You off in?" I said, "Nah, I'm just having a stroll today." So he said I was doing the right thing by having a sit down because it's warm out here. Thought there might be proper chairs, but they're in the like concrete little stumps. So I'm going to stroll back over the bridge and find somewhere to sit, I think. It's nice now, it's really nice. Sandwiched between the BBC and the ITV building. It's quite a while since I worked for any of them. But it was nice. I'm not saying that to boast or anything. But I did do some work for ITV when it was called Granada. Way back when, I did The Worst Witch. I was the vocal coach for the choir on The Worst Witch. And I also did Just the Two of Us for the BBC. But I went to London for that one. We did all the vocal coach stuff there. So I've never been around the Manchester one, so it's nice just to come and have a look. It's quite spread out. I think just in front of us there, I saw it on the boat earlier, that's where they filmed Blue Peter now, in that building. I haven't watched Blue Peter since, I can't even think, when I was much younger. So I hope you're enjoying the vlog. Do make sure you subscribe, give me a thumbs up and a like. YouTube like it if you do that. It's quite fun sat here watching the world go by. I've just watched Sharon Marshall walk past. She does the soaps on This Morning and a few other TV shows. She knows all about the soaps. And I'm just stood outside, well sat outside CBeebies. It's great sat here, you know. Just watched a limo pull up. Gloria Hunniford come out the building, got into the vehicle, drove off, but she didn't. someone else drove her off. There's a young person there going, thanks Gloria, bye Gloria, take care Gloria. I don't know what it is, it's just, you know, when you watch folks on TV, they look much bigger than they actually are. She's so small. So small. So old. That sounds awful, doesn't it? But she looks younger on the telly. This is all because I got a bit out of puff and I thought I'd do a bit more crocheting while I'm sat here. And so far I've seen Sharon from Soaps. And Gloria Hunniford. So who's next? How about Vernon? I know Vernon does a lot of stuff here, but saying that, it's a Sunday, it's his day off. It's not in today. He's in tomorrow morning. I like listening to Vernon in the morning. They're putting away barriers behind me. I think the Philharmonic played last night. They're just getting rid of all the barriers. I'll watch for anybody else coming out. So I think that's me done here. I'm going to make my way back to the shop, get us like a bottle of water, and go and pick Alex up from Manchester Central. Just walking past that little the little craft area. I've had a lovely day, much better than last time. Being in the centre of town, hot and just busy, tired out. This has been so much more relaxing. I'd do it again.